Hi everyone. Moscow, March 2nd, 2025. A city known for its long and tumultuous history is now about to witness an unprecedented moment. Amid the melting snow and cold winds, the iconic Red Square is filled with thousands of people from various religious and cultural backgrounds. However, what makes this event truly different is who initiated it: Russian President Vladimir Putin. Under the dark sky, large tents stand proudly along the square. The main stage is adorned with symbols of unity and peace. The atmosphere is a stark contrast to the cold night, yet there is a warmth felt by all who are present. This event is not just about breaking fast together or celebrating Ramadan, but a statement that Russia will become a new example in the world of diversity. Putin, who has long been close to the Russian Orthodox Church, shocked many when he announced the world's largest iftar event. For years, the relationship between Muslims and Orthodox Christians in Russia has not been easy, often fraught with tension. However, Putin, with his calculated leadership, knows that division will only worsen the situation. On stage, Putin stands with authority, dressed in a formal suit, but his eyes convey a strong desire for change. His calm but firm voice resonates throughout Red Square. Today, we unite. We come from different backgrounds, with different beliefs, but we all have one goal: peace and diversity. This iftar is a symbol that we can live together, respect one another, and together build a better future, Putin says. His meaningful words touch the hearts of many present, especially those from the Orthodox Christian community. Many of them, who may have initially been skeptical, now begin to open up to the idea of peace and unity between religions. They witness a leader who can look beyond the boundaries of religion and politics, which sparks a sense of curiosity. However, what is most surprising is not just the speech, but who was present. Thousands of Muslims from around the world came to break their fast together at this event. From Indonesia, Pakistan, to the Middle East, they came with great hope, to show that Islam is a religion that teaches peace and unity. But what was even more surprising was the presence of thousands of Orthodox Christians who did not only come as spectators, but as participants who wanted to experience this historic moment. The atmosphere in Red Square began to feel magical, with people standing together, talking to one another, disregarding their differences. Some came with families, some alone, but all seemed to have the same goal: to celebrate togetherness. There were no more dividing walls between them, only one goal: peace. As the time for iftar drew near, the atmosphere grew tense, not with anxiety, but with the great hope that hung in the air. People began to prepare, staring at the large screen displaying the countdown to the breaking of the fast. Muslims, who were used to fasting for more than 12 hours, felt an immense joy, not just because they would break their fast with delicious food, but because they felt a priceless moment of togetherness. And when the call to prayer echoed, Red Square seemed to come alive. It wasn't just the Muslims who raised their hands in prayer and broke their fast, but many Orthodox Christians stood in silence, feeling the deep peace that flowed through them. Amid the crowd, some began to wonder about the teachings of Islam. What makes them so peaceful? They thought. Why are these people so full of love for one another? As the iftar began, dishes from various cultures were served along Red Square, from sweet dates, sandwiches, to traditional Russian dishes that warmed the body. Everyone sat together, enjoying the company without any awkwardness. Among the laughter and light conversation, many felt that this was more than just a Ramadan celebration. It was a rare opportunity to experience diversity as a strength, not a divider. Yet, amidst all the joy, something bigger was happening. For some people present, This was not just about breaking fast or celebrating togetherness. This moment, which appeared simple, began to change them. Those who came with skepticism began to feel something deeper. A message of peace from the teachings of Islam, a religion they once considered foreign, now began to open their hearts. No one could have predicted that such a grand event would mark a turning point in the history of religion in Russia. But for the first time, those present felt that perhaps, just perhaps, peace and unity could be achieved through a deeper understanding and respect for one another. This was the beginning of a long journey that would change the lives of many people. After President Vladimir Putin's passionate speech, Red Square began to be enveloped in an atmosphere filled with hope. No longer were there barriers separating Muslims, Orthodox Christians, and those from other religious backgrounds. Everyone sat side by side, enjoying a rare moment together. But what followed would be more than just a typical sense of togetherness. This was a major step towards true unity. As the time for iftar approached, the atmosphere grew tense, but not because of anxiety. Instead, it was the great hope that hung in the air. For the Muslims present, this was a very special time, a moment they had patiently waited for, not just to break their fast, but to share happiness together. However, there was something different about this event. An unusual tradition. A joint prayer involving the two major religions, Islam and Orthodox Christianity, never before done on such a grand scale. In the midst of the crowded square, the leaders of Islam and the Russian Orthodox Church stood side by side, united in one goal, a prayer for peace. The large stage, adorned with beautiful lanterns and symbols of peace, bore silent witness to this touching spiritual moment. They raised their hands together, without differentiating their backgrounds or beliefs, praying for world peace and the well-being of humanity. The prayer was a stunning event. Some stood in silence, captivated by the moment filled with respect and sincerity. There was an unspoken feeling that filled the air, something that could not be explained with words, only felt by open hearts. In the front row, a young man named Dmitry, known as an Orthodox Christian activist deeply devoted to his faith, felt something different. He watched the Islamic leaders lead the prayer with deep concentration and love. Why is their prayer so calm? He thought to himself. He felt his heart touched by a deep peace he had never experienced before. Perhaps all along, he had rushed to judge Islam based only on his limited knowledge. But tonight, everything felt different. On the other side, Maya, a young mother who had come with her child, felt the same tranquility. She observed not only the religious leaders praying, but thousands of people standing together, united in a prayer flowing with love. Is this what unity feels like? Maya thought. Is this what I've been searching for? In her heart, doubts began to emerge about her faith, about the religion she had long held dear, and about the path she had chosen in life. But what she felt that night was something she had never felt before, something calming and full of love. As the prayer ended, the call to prayer echoed from loudspeakers scattered throughout the square. It was a sign that the time to break the fast had arrived. But more than that, it was a symbol of the beginning of a change within many of those present. The Muslims, sitting with perfect calm, began to take their food dates, hot soup, bread, and various other delicious dishes. Meanwhile, the Orthodox Christians, who had initially come as spectators, sat down and felt the spirit of togetherness that was beyond words. They didn't just break their fast, but also shared laughter, spoke with people from different parts of the world, without feeling alienated or awkward. One thing that couldn't be ignored was that the togetherness went beyond just breaking the fast or sharing food. There was something much deeper binding them that night, a bond not just formed by food, but by sincere mutual respect and genuine empathy for each other as human beings. Every conversation, every glance, felt like a bridge connecting them, not only as individuals but also as part of a larger human family. However, that night didn't end with a shared meal. This event offered more than just dishes. It offered an experience that changed the way many people viewed Islam. Some of those present, especially Orthodox Christians, began to feel that something much bigger was happening. Something was speaking directly to their hearts. What do I really know about Islam? Many of them began asking themselves, what makes them so peaceful? Why have we always felt so divided until now? Dmitry, who had been skeptical from the start, began to walk in a direction he never imagined. He approached an Islamic religious leader who was present and started talking about what he had been feeling. I feel a peace I've never felt before, he said, confused. What I'm feeling, it feels like a calling. Is this what Islam teaches? The Islamic religious leader smiled wisely and replied, Islam teaches peace, compassion, and respect for all of humanity. This is the path that leads us to true peace, both in this world and the hereafter. What you're feeling is the result of a deeper understanding of life and God. Maya, who had come initially out of curiosity, now felt her doubts begin to fade. She reflected deeply. Is it possible for me to live a more peaceful life? Is it possible for me to find this peace? There was a great curiosity within her to learn more. That night, amidst the dazzling lights of lanterns in Red Square, one thing was certain. Many had begun to open their hearts. The atmosphere of togetherness created during the iftar had broken down the walls that had long existed between different religions. For many, this was a life-changing moment, a moment they would remember forever. Several weeks after the monumental iftar event, Moscow was still buzzing with inspiring stories about what had happened in Red Square. International media reported on the event, but more importantly, the impact it had on the hearts of many people. What had started as a celebration of religious and cultural diversity had now grown into something much bigger, a turning point in the understanding and acceptance of interfaith relations in Russia. Dmitry, the young man previously known for his unwavering loyalty to his religion, was no longer the same. A week after the event, he spent long nights reflecting and reading about Islam. The books and articles he encountered sparked his curiosity. He began asking his Muslim friends questions, listening to their life stories, and eventually began to explore the meaning of the verses in the Quran that he read. Dmitry's previously closed mind slowly began to change. Islam doesn't just talk about religious obligations. It speaks about daily life, about justice, compassion, and respect for others. Could this be the right path? He thought. A transformation was happening in his heart that had once been hardened, now opening up to understanding a different perspective. On the other hand, Maya, the young mother who had come to the event out of curiosity, began to feel the same pull. She pondered daily, feeling something missing in her life despite having everything. There was an emptiness she couldn't explain. But after that night in Red Square, she felt as if she had been given new light. Is this the peace I've been searching for all this time? She asked herself. Maya started speaking to more people who had attended the event. One of her conversations with a Muslim woman she met at the iftar remained etched in her mind. Islam teaches us to always love and respect others, even if we have different beliefs, the woman said with a warm smile. Islam isn't just about rituals, but about living consciously, sharing goodness with others. For Maya, that was the turning point. She felt that these messages resonated deeply with what she had been seeking. inner peace that wasn't dependent on the outside world. She began reading more, delving deeper into Islam. Day by day, her doubts began to fade, replaced by a strong belief. One evening, after months of doubt and searching, Maya and Dmitry met by chance. They sat in a small cafe in the heart of Moscow, amidst the hustle and bustle of the city that never stopped. But the atmosphere at their table was entirely different. They spoke with silence and meaning. Their conversation wasn't just about religion. It was about their inner journeys, about the search for peace that had always felt so distant. Dmitry, I feel like I found something deeper in Islam, something that fills the emptiness in my life. I want to explore further, Maya said gently, her voice full of resolve. Dmitry looked at her deeply. I feel the same way, Maya. I've started reading the Quran, and I've felt a peace I've never experienced before. Every verse I read feels like it speaks directly to my heart. I feel like God is calling me. Maya smiled, tears welling up in her eyes. Are we ready to take this big step? Dmitry nodded slowly. Yes, we are ready. I want to follow this path. I want to be part of the community that teaches this peace. That night, amidst the busy streets of Moscow, they both decided to take a monumental step in their lives. They promised to embrace Islam with sincere hearts, ready to live a more meaningful and peaceful life. They knew it was a big step, but deep down, they felt they had found the answer they had been searching for. Maya and Dmitry, along with a few others who also felt inspired, embarked on their journey to the nearest mosque. There, with hearts full of hope and confusion, they recited the Shahada, declaring themselves as Muslims. It was a deeply emotional moment, a spiritual journey that would change their lives forever. News of this event quickly spread across Russia. The media reported in awe about the conversions that had taken place after the iftar in Red Square. Thousands of people across Russia began to open up to understanding Islam in a new way, not just as a religion, but as a way of life that teaches peace, compassion, and unity among humanity. However, this was not the end of their story. For Maya and Dmitry, it was only the beginning. They realized that this journey would not be an easy one. They would have to face challenges, prejudices, and misunderstandings from those around them. But they knew they had chosen the right path, a path filled with peace and hope.